Hey everybody, my name is Lincoln McCartney. I currently live in Tucson, Arizona. I am 24 years old and I have been cooking for about 16 years. A lot of my experience comes from learning from my grandma. At a young age, I started cooking whenever I was about 5. I've always had like this passion to cook, but for some reason, whenever I moved to Arizona from New Mexico, um, I don't know. I just had this total change of plans of what I wanted to do. I wanted to play football, and then I wanted to go into the military. Well, what ended up happening whenever I lived in Tucson, I ended up going into the military. Well, after I got out of the military, I worked at a few local restaurants in town, and I still tried to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. I then went and I worked at a local strip club as a bouncer, and then from there, I was offered a lead cook position in their kitchen. They needed a cook, and I actually knew how to cook really well because of my grandma. So I was offered the position. I was 22 at the time. I took up the position, and then I had a son. That's basically it. I ended up having a son, and whenever I had a son, um, I had to shut it down. I didn't want him to be around that environment. Like, wasn't a environment to raise kids or family at. So I decided to go work at an IHOP, and I worked at a local IHOP for a little bit, and then it just wasn't enough money for me. I just wasn't enough money for me and my family. So I then took what I knew and went back to school. I started going back to school over at a local art institute. Um, my time there, it was an experience. I really enjoyed everything there.